For the past 2 weeks, Brazil has been experiencing devastating floods as a result of extreme rain. Houses, businesses, hospitals, and properties are being swallowed by the relentless waters. This is not mentioning the dozens of fatalities this disaster has caused, including at least 107 individuals in Rio Grande do Sul alone. Many have been injured, lost their homes, pets, and livestock. While rescue efforts are being implemented, the flooding has affected 1.9 million people across the country and continues to worsen by the day. Across the Atlantic and Eastern Europe, the Russian occupation of Ukraine continues to affect the daily lives and well-beings of Ukrainians. Russia has continued their attacks on Ukrainian communities, destroying local towns and taking innocent lives of civilians. Last week, 3 citizens were injured as a result of a Russian airstrike of 70 missiles in Kyiv, and 4 children and 3 adults were hospitalized after another airstrike at a Kharkiv high school. These constant missile attacks have resulted in power outages, mass destruction of buildings and homes, and loss of many lives. The constant brutality being carried out across Gaza continues to destroy lives daily. Thousands of Palestinian families have been destroyed in the past month alone by Hamas in Israeli warfare, contributing to the genocide of millions over the past year. Over the past couple of weeks, an estimated of 80,000 civilians have fled Rafah, and many more Palestinians are attempting escape. Just southwest of Israel, Sudanese citizens are also experiencing extreme violence during the ongoing civil war that ravages their cities. As of May 10th, witnesses have reported to news outlets that the Sudanese children are being rounded up by paramilitary officials and brutally shot. Thousands more families are being killed as they simply try to escape war zones and bring themselves to safety. This video is going to be a bit different than the other ones I have written. I have started this video by briefly discussing several ongoing global crises to spread awareness and provide context to what I am going to be discussing today. All of the information I am presenting has been gathered from public news sources such as PBS, CNN, The Guardian, BBC, and others. If you want to further educate yourself about any of the aforementioned topics, please do your own research. This channel is not a news broadcast. I'm simply relaying publicly available information as it relates to my content. In this video, we are going to be exploring the intersection between global issues and our own popular culture. The main goal I had while creating this video was to spread awareness of these worldwide issues and educate consumers like ourselves on how we can make a difference. I also wanted to shed light on certain wealthy celebrities and influencers who have failed to advocate or support important causes, simply to draw attention to the flawed social system that turns a blind eye to wars, genocides, destruction, etc. Again, the main focus should be on those who need our support and attention, not the elite that abuses it. Let them eat cake. The Metropolitan's annual benefit gala has been a tradition for nearly 74 years. Eleanor Lambert, a legendary fashion publicist during the 1940s, was the founder of this annual event in 1948. The gala was initially born as a way of supporting the Costume Institute of the Metropolitan Museum in New York City. The idea was to extract the high society of New York, raising funds before the annual reopening of the costume exhibit in early May. Each year, wealthy business people and socialites would pay the lofty price of approximately $50, contributing to the organization that studied, restored, and preserved historical and unique pieces. Eleanor Lambert, founder of the Council of Fashion Designers of America, saw the potential in elevating the event to a new level of luxury and prestige, not only to benefit the organization, but also bring attention to New York museum and culture. However, the Met Gala truly saw this elevation in notoriety 2 decades later, during the 1970s. While well-known individuals had previously attended the gala in the years prior, more ubiquitously known cultural icons began appearing at the event. Diana Vreeland, Vogue editor-in-chief and fashion consultant at the time, played a huge role in expanding the event's reach. Vreeland transformed the gala from a usual charity event to a cultural summit of stars and icons in the form of a party. Singer, actors, TV personalities, radio show hosts, athletes, socialites, artists, and more attracted the public eye to the event, resulting in weeks of national publicity for the Metropolitan Museum. Vreeland introduced themes which encouraged celebrities to dress in avant-garde looks and showcase multiple designer brands, providing interesting and exciting coverage and trends for fashion and beauty. And so, like any other year, the Met Gala commenced on the 6th of May, 2024, amid the anxiously awaiting streets of bustling Manhattan. The theme for the evening's attendees was Garden of Time, a short story by J.G. Ballard published in 1962. The story goes as follows. A count and countess live in a blissful utopian garden, unaware of the world outside their garden wall. However, as time passes, the couple takes notice of a large mob approaching them, angrily threatening to invade their garden. Instead of confronting the fast-approaching mob, the couple plucks flowers from their garden, which they have powers to turn back time and hence keep the angry mob at bay. Soon, however, the couple has plucked all their magical flowers and can no longer avoid the imminent destruction. The mob invades and destroys their garden, and the count and countess are turned into stone. Many interpret this literary work as a social commentary regarding class disparities, while at the same time representing environmental issues occurring worldwide. I will dive further into these themes later in the video, so we'll just put a pin in that. One of the many criticisms that come up every year during the gala is sustainability concerns. Climate activists criticize the wealthy for funneling large sums of money into the production of over-the-top pieces, which require rare, expensive materials and in excessive amounts. Many have also commented on the little creativity expended into each look, as designers opt for producing over-the-top gowns and suits rather than reusing and restoring vintage pieces and reworking them into new looks. Sustainability expert and author Ashley Piper said in an interview with Fast Company, "So much of Vogue's advertising revenue is centered around not only non-sustainable designers and goods, but designers and goods that actively exploit animals, workers, and ecosystems in the name of high fashion." While some attendees do dress more sustainably and climate consciously for the Met Gala, this issue has been a common critique over the years regarding the ethics of the event. Another point of public interest is the price of entry for the Met Gala. As mentioned earlier, the opening price for attendees was around $50 in 1948, equating to approximately $650 today. The price point usually did the job in weeding out the exorbitantly wealthy of New York, making the event exclusive in its own right. However, as the benefit gained in popularity and prestige, so did the exclusivity of the tickets. The gala was invite-only, and the price per ticket leaped the elite. All of this brings us to this year's Met Gala, which, like any other year, was held at 5:30 p.m. Eastern in the busy, onlooking streets of Manhattan. As giant white buses and sleek black vehicles hovered by the gated entrance of the large stone building, swarms of paparazzi buzzed behind barricades, shouting for coveted glances and snapping key shots to be printed across magazines and websites and papers. Just outside the impenetrable mass of publicists, journalists, and photographers, just a few paces beyond the carpeted pavement where $1,000 shoes trod, picket lines of protesters in black sweatshirts and gloves and mittens shout and rally. Perhaps the wealthy attendees can't hear the words being aggressively chanted over the familiar pleas of the paparazzi, or perhaps they're simply utilizing their public interaction skills and painting their faces with stone smiles and overlooking the signs and fists. As many of us are aware, to some extent, the entire world, let alone the United States, faces various crises and disasters that only seem to worsen by the day. The middle and lower classes have been dealing with inflation, the recession, housing crises, natural disasters, and overall chaos that affects our daily lives. We are also acutely aware of the genocide sweeping the cities of and around Gaza, and news of the Israeli-Palestinian conflict flooding news channels for months. While sentiments against out-of-touch celebrities have been discussed across social media for years, it finally reached its boiling point at the 2024 Met Gala. The event itself is not specifically to blame. It's been a cultural touchstone for decades and now merely mimics those other exclusive events of the same caliber. However, the specific nature of the gala, considering the traditions, the theme, and even the timing, make for a perfect storm of national criticism. Referring back to the very story that inspired the dress code of the evening, many have found the symbolism to be terribly ironic and a bit too on the nose. The story about a count and countess living blissfully in their own garden while an angry mob swarms outside their walls is eerily reflective of the celebrities and influencers smiling for the cameras while voices of protesters ring through the air. In the story, instead of confronting and facing the mob, the couple resorts to the easiest thing they can do to quell the chaos: ignore and pick flowers to minimize the mob's impact. In life, the class of wealthy elites does the same. They must be somewhat aware of the socio-political climate of the world, yet instead of addressing it and using their massive influence for change, they resort to all they know how to do. In this case, it is to flaunt their wealth to the public and freely indulge in exclusive luxuries. However, this daunting parallel is not something new or foreign to our society. It is a phenomenon that has been occurring for decades, even centuries. It has become something prevalent in the past year, and there are many specific cases that emphasize this. This video would truly be remiss if I neglected to mention the Hailey Bailey incident. Former model and now popular influencer Hailey Khalil posted a video to her TikTok account on May 6. Khalil, who attended the Met Gala as a pre-host, filmed herself dancing in an extravagant Marie Antoinette-inspired gown while lip-syncing the words, "Let them eat cake."
Let them eat cake.
Who took the bomb?
While many, including myself, believe the video to be largely a result of ignorance rather than calculated malice, many have found the video to play into the rising social and political tensions. The since-deleted video, which garnered more than 22 million views, truly sparked a widespread outrage across the internet, prompting many to stop following and supporting famous people online, especially those that appeared at the Met Gala. Hailey has since made a video responding to the situation, as her actions seem to have influenced an entire movement of backlash against influencers and celebrities. Many accuse people like her for not using their influence and outreach to speak on these important issues, and for not taking the time to educate themselves about them as well. A common argument among those with large followings is that they are not educated enough, are not powerful enough, or do not have the right skill set to properly discuss these grave topics. This induces anger within fans, as most of us are aware of these public figures' influence, and we are aware that even the smallest amount of awareness could ignite change. I want to conclude this video by discussing the various ways that we, as average citizens, can enact change in our own communities. As many of us are aware, the world's eye has largely been focused on the Middle East and the war pillaging Gaza. One of the many ways that we can provide support for Palestinians suffering in their homeland is to donate to charities associated with providing relief. You may have heard about Operation Olive Branch, which is an internet community sharing stories and fundraisers for specific individuals impacted by the war. Another opportunity to donate is through the United Nations website, where your donation will be to Occupied Palestinian Territory Humanitarian Fund, which was designed to provide quick ground relief. Another important cause that you can donate to is the Child's Emergency Fund through SaveTheChildren.org. Your donations support relief teams in Sudan providing food, shelter, clothes, and medical care to child refugees victimized by the Sudanese civil war. All of the previously listed links will be available in the description below. Another productive and effective way you can support is simply by using your voice, whether that is educating yourself and others, sharing informative resources and reposting items across social media, or even talking about it with friends and family. You are actively spreading awareness to issues that need as much attention as possible. Another way to use your voice is to vote. If you are 18 or older and you live in the US, you are eligible to become a registered voter. The way that we function as a democratic government is through our representation, and by communicating to representatives, we can bring up the concerns we would like discussed at a national level. I hope this video was informative and somebody learned something from it. If you wanted to donate to any of the previously mentioned organizations, I'm going to link them below, so you can definitely check those out. And thank you for watching the video. It means a lot. And I hope you have a good rest of your day. Bye.